All right, just got back from Anarchapulco, and we had a great time there, and I did a little bit of work with the orphanage here, and this is a little bit of the story behind that. So, as you know, I've been working for 6 years with the Marsh Children's Home in Bonefil, outside of Acapulco, and this is in conjunction with the Anarchapulco conference every year. And this year I got to do a little bit something different. I got to go to the mountains and see where the kids actually come from. So we have three classes of kids. Some are orphans, we don't know where their parents are. Some, the parents went to the U.S. and are not returning. And then there's another group where the kids don't speak Spanish and they just need some opportunity. And I got to go with a couple of those kids back and see their families and where they came from. And one was an interesting story where, the town they live in, a lot of the kids are drinking at 11 or 12 years old. And the kid's dad just wanted a good opportunity for him. So he's one of the kids that's at the orphanage. The other one lived in a pretty sparse house. I went in and ate with them, and it's probably not somewhere that most people would want to eat. And chickens roaming around on the floor and stuff like that. And it was eye-opening, but I did get to venture out. That was like one of the bigger towns called Metlatone, and I got to venture out and check out some of the other little villages that were more remote from there, and that was a sight to see. And this is me sharing that with you. So beginning, it's kind of an introduction to some of the kids at the orphanage, and then my travels out into the mountains to see where they come from and why they end up at the Marsh Children's.
1, 2, 3. Just kidding, it's a video. It's un video. Video. Woo! Come on, everybody. Come on, get over there. That's it, do it. Their first time in the turtle sanctuary. Where? ¿Dónde? Alright. Where are we going, Nay?
Grabar.
¿Grabar qué? ¿Qué? ¿Ellos? Erica! Erica! Alright, good. Woohoo!
And a big shout out here to the Bonefil Turtle Sanctuary, because we just showed up to visit the sanctuary and had no idea that they were going to let us actually give all of the kids a turtle. So I show up with 16 kids, and they gave every one of the kids a turtle to release. And normally they charge like 50 pesos per turtle to do this. So it was unexpected that they did this, and I really appreciate they did it.
Well, another great day on the beach here in Acapulco, right? Bonefil. Anyway, got my 16 miners out here. $16 miners. miner as in M-I-N-E-R, because they're mining some sea coins. Check this out. These are sand dollars, and then there's 16 more in that cup. So far we've got 87 and a half. I've got them out there trying to pull in 13 more coins so we can bring in 100 coins today. That's our goal. 100 sand dollars in, I don't know, what, 2 hours that we've been out here. Delfino! Erica! Woo! Big day, right? Yeah, you want to get a lot of coins, you got to deploy a lot of miners. I love Acapulco. Woo! They go in the ocean, we still gotta wash them off. Say what? Journey I've wanted to do for quite some time. So today I go to the mountains. I forget the name of the town, but it's 6 hours away from Acapulco in the Guerrero Mountains. And we're going to one of the villages where the kids from the Marsh home come from. They come from several villages, but there are about 8 kids that are from this one village. And we're going to take some of the kids with us to meet who their families are and see the conditions that they live in. And we'll also be delivering a bunch of winter clothes, because a lot of the clothes and stuff get donated to the orphanage, and they don't need them here in Acapulco because it doesn't really get cold. So we're gonna take a few bags of clothes and, you know, kind of facilitate a little bit of a family reunion and see what it's really like up there. So I've been looking forward to this for a very long time. At least several years that I've been asking to go to the villages, and now I've come across the chance to do so, and I'm definitely going to take it. So stay tuned. Into this drive, we got an hour and a half left to go, and that's only 25 miles. The overall trip is about 180, and we left Bonefil. We're going to Metlatonic, so a little village in the mountains. So we're still in the state of Guerrero, never left that, but we passed through a bunch of villages, and the roads are sketchy as hell. Just randomly driving around the mountain roads, and there's just like cave-ins where the road is just eroded and falling away, and just huge potholes everywhere. So, cows and goats roaming around, but at least it's cooling off. I mentioned the road caving in. That's no joke. Like, the road, there would literally be a paint mark on the road where it was kind of just falling off of a cliff, and you had to zoom into the other lane to keep from falling. It was kind of crazy, actually. Look at this donkey. This is one of the higher points in Montolone. Pretty cool. Not a lot of infrastructure here. It's wow. All right, so we made it to Mecletono, which is a little city in the mountains, 6.5 hours away from Acapulco, or Bonfil at least. And I came up here with two of the kids and their uncle from the Marsh Children's Home. And the house there behind me, the pink house, is where one of the kids lives. And as soon as we got here, we went over there and had some lunch. It was pretty good. It was a chicken soup, and it was very, very sparse in there for sure. There's just a table and a few chairs, chickens running around inside, dogs and cats, and hey, I ate it and I didn't get sick, so I guess I'm okay. And the other kid, because it's two cousins, he lives, or well, his family is from down the road, and they have a paper store. So I think what happens, what I'm hearing, is that a lot of the kids don't have discipline, and they end up on drugs or alcohol, or just there's no opportunity here. Everybody is speaking Mixteca, so I can't really understand anything anyone is saying, even though my Spanish is limited. So I have a hard enough time when I'm listening to Spanish, but this Mixteca thing is a whole new ball game, and I don't know what anyone is saying. So it's interesting. Now, the uncle that came with me, of the two kids, his English is not great, but between his English and my Spanish, we're able to communicate. And so he's taken me around the area and showed me some things, and I got some shots of that, so it's pretty cool. Metletonica is actually, or Mecletona is kind of the major area, the town, and we're outside of that in another little colonia, as he called it. And it's pretty interesting. There's a festival down there tonight, so I'm going to go down there and check that out. These two kids do have parents, but they're very poor, and they can't provide the things that Marsh can. So you've got three kind of categories of kids that live at the Marsh home. Some are just all out orphan. No one is there for them. Some of the others, their parents went to the U.S. and haven't been heard from again, haven't returned or checked on them or anything. And then some are just from these poor mountain villages that have no opportunities. And the two kids that I brought up here to meet their spend some time with their family and to deliver a bunch of clothes and stuff that we had, they're in that third category, of course. The uncle did explain to me, and I mentioned this already, that what the opportunities are with Marsh. There's a lot of discipline, responsibility, the schooling, the ability to learn Spanish, because they go there not knowing any Spanish, and that's pretty evident from everyone I've come in contact here so far. There is no Spanish spoken. So it's good that I do have some translators here. Stay tuned there will be more.
This was the house of one of the kids, and I did not want to invade the privacy and film inside the home, but this is where I was eating with chickens and dogs and such. I wanted to point out the remoteness of this place. Like, they don't sell gas. You have to buy gas from little buckets. And the nearest gas station was almost 3 hours away. 2 hours and 45 minutes I drove to get gas when I left this place. There are no coffee shops. There's no Oxos. There's no nothing out here other than mom and pop businesses, which, hey, for the free market, that's great. Right. Mm-hmm. Well, here's something you don't see every day. Turkeys on the roof. I've seen dogs on the roof, but turkeys? In the architecture that you see here, these are handmade bricks that they make with their own kilns. I've seen this in another local area before I'd actually traveled here, and so it was very interesting. And all of the bricks are stacked with handmade mortar. I'm not sure what the significance of this parade is, but it has something to do with Carnival. So, oh, and the church bells are ringing, so it's noon. It's also interesting that all of these trucks are the colectivos, or a cheap form of taxi. Let's see, there's like 20 just little Nissan trucks with a flatbed trailer on back with sideboards, and that's the public transportation around here. In the center of town, and it looks like the machete dancers are going to do their thing again. So, like I said, they're gearing up for the machete dance, and it appears that it is a depiction of the conflict between the Romans and the Christians. So it was pretty cool. I watched it last night, and we already have footage of that, so I'm sure you'll see it. And what's any festival without the free market? So this is 10 days of people set up here selling their wares. Something I noted yesterday is that there's no masks here. No one's wearing them. Very few people are getting vaccinated. So it's pretty interesting. Since I got here yesterday, I've only seen 2 masks. One older lady and then one vendor, which the vendor could be from another town nearby or something, but it's definitely not something they're doing here. These are my Mixteco friends. And I'm over here hanging with this guy. Well, as I was saying, this is my last night here. I'm hanging out with this guy. Anyway, we catch out in the morning, 5 a.m., heading back to Acapulco. But I had a great time. We got to ride bumper cars. This dude got to jump on the trampoline for like an hour, while my other friends got to go swing on some crazy ride. I don't know what the hell it's called, but we had a fun day today. So much we did. Can't believe I did that much in one day, actually. Anyway, back to Acapulco and on to Arizona. Peace. This is the monkey, by the way. Here's a monkey.
Todo ejército acabaré. Batallas al ser revestido de laureles. Eres empeñado. ¿Qué nada más puede? Todos sabrán. Hoy no se te acabarán tus dominios y tus rigores. Porque todo el mundo sabe que somos superiores. ¡Temerario! Antes de que yo tome mi acero, tú serás el primero en que muera desesperado. Porque me pidas favor, por atrevido y traidor, te marchas orgulloso y nunca saldrás victorioso aunque pelees con honor. Bueno, no estoy viniendo. Campaña.
Well, day 2 in Mid-Latonic, and here's my room above a store right as you come into town. It's pretty cool though. I mean, we got view of the mountain right out the window. There's a river down there. So I'm going to wander around today and find out a little bit more about this town and see what I can discover. I had a pretty good time last night wandering around during the festival because it is the time of Carnival, and interesting culture, I guess. The sword fighting, the machete dance is what they call it. That was pretty cool. Let's go see what else we can.
I guess we're up high enough where the clouds are just covering the mountains here. Very cool. So we got a truckload of stuff over here we're fixing to unload for some people that might want it. So lots of toys and clothes and stuff in here, and these guys are going to have fun tearing into it. Look at these guys.
No quieren todos. No hacen caso, vos.
Sí. Bueno. You gonna share con otro?
And they are having a blast here. It's like Day of the Kings, or what is it? Dia de Reyes. Christmas time.
It was pointed out to me that many of these kids live actually up in the mountains that I had filmed when I first got there. So there's small shacks and stuff up there where they live. And from the houses that I'd noticed there, the wood houses, they had dirt floors, and it was just not great conditions at all. This is definitely one of the areas that I want to look forward to in the future, and bringing some of these kids down to the Marsh home and give them a chance at least.
So the horse riders ride by and try to grab the chicken's head off for some reason. I have no idea why. Yeah, that gives an all new meaning to choking the chicken. Didn't know when I rolled up here is that the chicken is alive when they start. As we get further and further out of the central zone, you notice that the houses are a little more humble, for sure. Woods. I don't think anyone's in this one, but there are several along this route that people are living in. Some of them are like built on top of the cementers. On top of cement structures, as I said. A lot of those are built From what I understand, that might be just a kitchen. But here's one up here. That one up there, someone's living in that one. Then there's some examples of the construction around here where the bricks are made from mud locally. I don't know if they heat them or what, but the joints are done with mud. It's not cement, so it's an old style. And I noticed that the walls are much shorter with a slight pitched roof. So kind of adobe style. The walls are really thick too. I'm assuming that those are packed with mud. I haven't been inside to see it, but that's my assumption. It's I mean, I guess if they can't afford concrete, that's the route to go. But very old style. This is eye-opening for sure. It's really interesting too. Like, I mean, I'm sure I've already said this, but to walk around and hear everybody speaking Mixteca. Like almost no Spanish is spoken unless you speak to them in Spanish. One guy was telling me that probably 30% of this town doesn't know any Spanish at all. They only speak Mixteca. And you know, others only know partial Spanish, and then there's maybe 10% that speak only Spanish and no Mixteca. So, pretty interesting dynamic for sure. Man, the temperature is definitely better being than than Acapulco. Nice and cool at night too. All right, the more I learn about this place, the more interesting it is. Pretty cool village. Very poor for sure, but pretty tight knit. Everybody around here seems to know everyone. There's no fist bumping here. Everyone shakes hands. Very few masks. I've only seen 2 so far. One yesterday, one today. From talking to someone else, I found that the people here never cooperated with any of the COVID stuff, so they don't believe it. Very few are vaccinated. And like I said, almost none wear masks. There is definitely not a huge amount of people who got sick. So, not my job to draw conclusions, but I already have my own opinions about that. So, I'll just leave it at that. But cool place, Metlatonic. Definitely come check it out. It's supposed to be a rodeo here in a little bit. We're gonna head back down there around 2 o'clock, and it's a rodeo, but it's not a rodeo. I don't understand what this means yet, but I guess I'm gonna find out. Wanted to find out a little about the different kinds of kids that come here. I just now came back from the mountains, and I've seen how some of them live, and some of it's bad, and some of it's actually kind of good. But they come here for opportunities. So tell me about the different kinds of kids that actually come here.
Yeah, well, you go and see the conditions that they live.
Yeah.
So the first one that comes here, I don't want to receive it because they were ready for a middle school.
Yeah.
And I have an age that I received only 6 years, ready for school. But the teacher that come and say, those kids are very diligent. Please help them, please, please. So I said, I will try. In case they don't obey or whatever, I send them back. But let me tell you today, one is a lawyer, the other is administration of business or something. They are working already.
Yeah.
One of them have his own business. So, and then those two ones go and bring the brothers and sisters and uncles and relatives and started to say in all the little villages that he was a place to help
Right.
kids that they really need.
Yeah. So what I've seen there, like, and what I've gleaned from talking to you, is that some of these kids actually are orphans, don't have parents.
Yeah. Some are.
Some are here because their parents went to the U.S. and they're not coming back. And then some are just to get
Very poor people.
very poor and an opportunity. I took two kids to the mountains yesterday. One probably lived in a pretty poor place,
Yeah.
and the other one, his dad owned a paper store. So, but from what their uncle told me is the main reason why they go there is to actually learn Spanish because they all speak Mixteca, and it's an opportunity for them to get out. If they stay, they're probably just going to end up on the street with drugs and alcohol. And I spent 2 days in the town, so I got to see the daytime, nothing. It's like really tranquil. But at night, there were some young kids like walking around with beer, probably 11 and 12 years old. They're getting drunk, and so I could see that. But when I went out into another village, which was Llano Zacatero, and there was very, very desperate people there.
Yeah, really.
I know we raised quite a bit of money this year that's going to be going towards the orphanage. And is there a way that we can get more kids from those, like from that village,
Yeah.
or some of the other
There's
villages?
so many.
Is there a way to get them as well?
When all of them are from there, you know that.
Right.
All of them are from there because they really need to be here.
Yeah. So, what percentage of the kids that are here
80.
have no parents, have no, or abandoned? What percent? How many of those kids here are that, and then how many are just here for a better opportunity?
You want to know how many
Yeah,
kids they don't
yeah,
have parents?
yeah.
They're really orphans?
Yeah.
Oh, I have to see in the list. They're not in my mind.
Right.
Yeah.
Like percentage,
Yeah.
like half,
Maybe 50%.
or about half.
Maybe 50%.
And then some of the villages are just desperate. I mean,
Yeah.
we took, you gave us a bunch of clothes and toys. I had a whole truckload of stuff, and I took that to the little village, and they were so happy to get it. It looked like it was
For
Christmas.
sure.
Like
Yeah.
they'd never seen toys
They
before.
never had that.
And yeah, it was, that was very, very much desperation. Like little wood shacks with dirt floors, and I went inside. I ate inside in one of them, and it was like chickens running around on the floor inside, and so very, very bad conditions. But like I said, not all of them are like that. They're just getting an opportunity. Do they take that back to the village? I mean, do they take that education back to the village? So the village that I was in, Metlatonic, was almost everybody that was there was speaking the
Spanish.
Yeah, no, not Spanish. Mixteca.
Mistaken.
Almost everybody
Yeah.
there was speaking.
Well, everybody here.
Yeah.
All over you hear them. Because I don't want for them to lose.
Yeah. But they told me that 30% of the town actually does not know any Spanish. They only speak Mixteco. And then
the rest are learning Spanish, and then you have kind of a mix of Spanish and Mixteco that they speak, and then some are only speaking Spanish. But it's so I think that's where the opportunities are for them to come here and learn Spanish. They can grow beyond the village in the future.
I'm very glad you went to see the condition, how it is, because I don't have time to go.
Yeah.
And I really want to go. But no time to.
Right.
I don't want to live here alone. But I came here when they don't want each other.
Yeah.
Or they come and tell me the condition.
Yeah.
And I'm very sure they don't lie.
I don't know if there's anything to this, but when I took the kids to the mountains, only 2 boys wanted to go, and none of the girls wanted to go. Why?
Because they
Is there abuse? Is there abuse to the girls?
No. They never travel, and when they travel, they come in the bus.
Yeah.
The 2 girls supposed to go, and many of them. That's the reason they don't go in the bus. The family you meet or the family you know, they pay for one ticket to pick it up.
Yeah.
Them here.
Right.
In August, when the vacation is long.
Right.
But they don't go during the year. First, they don't have money to pay the ticket.
Yeah.
And second, they're very poor.
Right.
They don't have money. That's $700 for a person to go to Mecla. From there, they have to pay or walk or a horse or donkey, whatever they have.
Yeah, it was a 7-hour drive for me.
Yeah.
And the roads were really, really bad. So.
Yeah, I told you.
Yeah.
I told you.
Well, that's all I was really wanting to know, is just to get a picture of what kind of what the ratio was of the kids that are here. Cool. Peace.
Go!
Acapulco.
Woo! That's adios, Danny, and thank you to Anarchapulco in Mixteco. See you next year!
Loca cuya.
Loca tuya, okay. These are the sand dollars that we caught in a little over an hour, right in front of the Marsh home. Me and 7 kids. We had the biggest haul yet. What do you think, Kevin? Did we catch enough? Huh? Muchos estrellas? I like, es galleta de mar. Mismo de galletas, huh? I don't even know. We're counting them right now, but I bet it's probably close to 200. And to top off a beautiful day, there goes the sun. Probably my last sunset here in Acapulco, at least for this trip anyway. And my little sidekicks are really just tearing it up.